This isn't how I thought the Yaris would go down. I always imagined it would fail on the track under full load, engine screaming for mercy. I've launched it at the drag strip, pushed past 200 on the circuit, but instead, it met its demise at 1 kilometre an hour in peak hour traffic.
Oh, get what the Oh my
Days earlier, I fixed a problem so that I wouldn't end up stranded on the side of the road. But here I am.
So I'm currently waiting for a tow truck. I don't know how long it's going to take.
And the problem? I was sure I knew what it was.
So I think the problem is the thrust bearing has gone. Now when the clutch was originally fitted in this, literally since day dot, it's been noisy. But now it's not noisy.
But I was wrong. Every time the Yaris is off the road, I lose focus and time for Project Precision, and the progress in building my film production company, Cobalt Entertainment, slows. Which means the progress towards giving my wife and daughter the life they deserve, and the GD3 mission falls further away.
Alright, so the day has come to find out what's wrong with the Yaris and how much it's going to cost me.
At first when this happened, I wasn't sure where to take it. Then I remembered just a few weeks earlier, I'd picked up some parts from MJ at ERS in preparation to give the Yaris a bit of TLC. Even though the Mitsubishi Evo is the pure bread and butter at ERS, they are also experts with the GR platform and work closely with performance parts companies that develop mods for them like Artec, who helped me out in the previous Yaris episode. And in the past, ERS have built one of Australia's first GR Yaris track weapons.
So new. Yellow Express and Artec. Justin Lewis, we just saw there the GR Yaris come through.
ERS didn't waste any time getting the Yaris on the hoist and acquiring a suspected diagnosis.
So we have Luke's Yaris here, came in non-running. We here to diagnose the no drive. We tried to start and run it, obviously, just, preliminary check, just to see if it does drive. There was no driveline noise whatsoever. So we decided to put it on the hoist. We wanted to look inside the bell housing of the gearbox, which is a common problem that I kind of see nowadays where the input shaft on the gearbox does shear off. I had to confirm it so Luke will know what to do on the next step of fixing or repairing or replacing the box. So we have here a inspection camera with the input shaft. I'll just get this fixed up. You can see just there where the input shaft is, right there where the teeth are. And obviously we've spun it up. That input shaft is staying stationary. The next step would be to replace the gearbox. Now I have run a few options past Luke in terms of gearbox replacement.
So this meant I needed a new clutch, gearbox and flywheel, and I was looking at a $7,700 bill.
But once the gearbox was out, what we thought was a snapped input shaft turned out to be something else. An aftermarket heavy-duty clutch, which I had fitted by another workshop a few years ago when I first moved to Sydney to replace the OEM one that I had worn out, was meant to handle substantial power increases and track abuse, though unfortunately, due to installer error, it failed. The upside? My gearbox was fine and already out of the car, which meant I had options. There was a gearbox from a wrecked Rallye available, which I opted for, and that brought the bill down to $5,900. But after some more work and further investigating, ERS found that it had the infamous second gear synchro fault. And with the already scarce supply of functioning gearboxes, repair was the only option, which meant that it would have been weeks, if not months, before I was back behind the wheel.
I took it as a sign. and decided to put my original gearbox back in. It shortened the timeline and it cost a whole lot less.
So, while I worked on client jobs, began developing the script for my upcoming short film, and enjoyed the privilege of spending time with my wife and daughter, ERS got to work so I could get back on the road and back on the path to chasing that GT3 dream.
All right. Oh, what the f? They fixed it. I've got to fix my steering position, my driving position, but that's all right because we're back. And I got to turn off these notifications. Wow.
You have entered a school zone.
Thank you. Oh, this feels so foreign. I haven't driven this car in such a long time. I think it's been like, what, 2-3 weeks? It feels so, like, foreign. It feels unnatural. I've been driving my wife's CX3 for the past, well, the entirety. Let's fix this up. All right, can I go? Oh, wow. Oh, that clutch feels so much better. No vibrating single mass. Goodness gracious. All right, I have no idea. Sorry, brother. I feel like I'm learning to drive for the first time.
Please obey all traffic regulations.
F off. All right, let's see if we're on. One thing I noticed straight away is how smooth it now is. Taking off, changing gears, low speed acceleration, like 0 vibrations. Thank you. Oh, the single mass, different story. Literally anything taking off up until 4,000 RPM vibrates. So if you care about driver experience, it affects that. Though you will also need to change the way you drive this car, literally. Like, it depends on what speed you're doing, what gear you'll be in, compared to if it was a dual mass, which this now is. And the fact that ERS has done this job means that it is properly installed, and I will not be doing another clutch in 50,000 kilometers. This is the 3rd clutch now. But yeah, I'm happy to have this car back. Now, come on, brother. So I've got 99,186 kilometers on this car. Now the reason why I say that is because I made this little rule with myself that I would not modify this car until it hit 100,000 kilometers. Now I'm obviously not including the clutch that was just put on, or the one before that, or the downpipe. But I do have some other parts that I've ordered, which I don't want to put on this, though not until it hits 100,000 kilometers. And they were, well, the reason why I bought them in the first place was to basically make this car better on the track, more track reliable. Though after all this ordeal, I am reluctant and hesitant to take this to another track day. Even though it would be good for seat time, getting experienced on the track, I can't afford to go through something like this again. Not just from the money side, but like the inconvenience side and money that spends on repairing this detracts from other things I'm trying to do, like build a film production company and pursue professional GT3 endurance racing. So will this go on the track again? I don't know. The thought in my head is saying, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. No. But yeah, so if I actually just, the money that I'd put on this to get a track ready went to the Skyline, then I could just flog that. And if the Skyline breaks, it doesn't matter because it's already broken and apart.
Even though the outcome was better and cheaper than I initially expected, the $2,900 that it came to still could have gone into the R34 build, building Cobalt, towards a house deposit for my family, or the GT3 mission. Though, you can't argue with God. Now she's fixed, clean, and ready for the next mission.
So, what's the takeaway from all this? Neglect.
No matter how good something is, how well built, how strong, if you neglect it, it will break. It will let you down. For months, I've abused and pushed this car to its limits, leaving it in a state of neglect. I even planned a Fixing My Neglected Yaris series.
And this is definitely not how I intended on starting this sub-series, Fixing My Neglected GR Yaris.
And I'm not just talking about cars. Neglect can creep into anything. Relationships, work, your health, even your dreams. So, take your daughter to that park you've been meaning to visit for weeks. Reply to those emails you keep putting off. Mow the lawn that's been staring at you for more than you care to mention. And go and be with the people who matter. Because life's too short to be filled with neglect. And you don't want to wake up one day and realize that the things you cared about most are already too far gone. And if I'm not careful, the skyline could be next.